Hey guys, let's start with chapter 2 of Blank People of the Same Type. This might be the first time in recent years that I was seriously distancing myself from anyone besides my grandmother. How long had it been since I did something like this? It was a while ago. I remember precisely the day my best friend revealed her romantic feelings for me because she couldn't stand watching me flirt with another cool girl at school. Fearing someone else would take me, she pulled the trigger, but without a moment of consideration, I rejected it. She was crushed and humiliated and finally disappeared from my life completely. I was in the middle of market board, and it was obvious that no one was paying me to sketch something. Maybe because I had a lot of free time, but I couldn't stop thinking about the girl I treated so coldly before. Honestly, I'm worried about her. Did she feel bad the same way my friend did? What if she disappeared and did something bad to herself? My anxiety increased as my thoughts spun faster and faster, and I found it harder to stay still. Why did this person I had just met have such a powerful effect on me? There was no point in staying there any longer, so I started packing my things. Just as I was about to leave, someone spoke. Kunyung, is that you? I was stopped in my tracks by a voice I knew. I turned around slowly to see if that person was the one I was thinking of. Chet, it's really you? Chet was my ex fiance, whose esteem was destroyed as a result of me leaving the wedding. When I laid my eyes on him again, I couldn't help but feel a pang of guilt for my past actions, a slight sting. What brings you here? I asked him curiously, wondering why he was here in the central market instead of somewhere more appropriate for a governor's son. It seemed like he was not only looking at me, but also at my belongings. I'm campaigning for the next elections. Are we still having elections? I offered a cheerful response, but I'm starting to get impatient. Ah, that's why I find you here. I have to go. Bye bye. When I was about to leave, he suddenly grabbed my arm and said, Kunyung, just wait a second. But as soon as I look into his eyes, he lets go. My apologies. Is there anything else? I'm just glad to see you. Are you happy? I was very disconcerted after the way I treated you. You should have your father's hitman shoot me instead. A quiet laugh escaped Chet's mouth after hearing that. I don't hate you in the least. Just hate me, you'll make me feel better that way. I couldn't help but feel like he should look down on me instead of having this friendly chat. If I remembered correctly, we had to go out for a while before our wedding at the request of our families. He was a decent guy, and I knew he had strong feelings for me. However, no matter how good a person is, no one is worthy. I never hated you, really. In fact, I'm happy to see you here. Also, please accept this. He took something out of his pocket. I instinctively recoiled and took a step back, assuming what the object was. Here's my card. It's actually your business card. What do you think it would be? A weapon? It's a joke, right? I raised my eyebrows in response to his question. Don't laugh, I said, responding with a smile. I'm much happier than you think. I miss you. I have to go now until we meet again, okay? Bye bye. Kunyung? He stopped me once again. When I returned to him, I saw how bright and happy his face was. So, until we meet again means we might meet soon. He asked to make sure. Maybe. What else could I say? Must I admit that it was just a polite response? I left the market and headed to my room, a feeling of dread taking over me. Fear ran through my veins, thinking that the girl wouldn't wait for me like she said, and I had to fight the temptation of that thought. Had she returned home? Excuse me, I said to the building manager, who was calmly watching television. Have you seen a girl around here who always smiles like there's no tomorrow? Yes, yes, her smile was so wide. It's like the sun had risen. I remember her clearly. She's there with the owner. He pointed to a stone table on the side of the building. Eun and the elderly owner seemed to be having a great conversation, as if they had been lifelong friends. Their laughter echoed throughout the area, creating a feeling of joy and peace. She was still there, even after what I did? The guilt I experienced after saying the wrong things to her began to fade. The thought of her going off and doing something unthinkable scared me. I tried to stay out of sight by staying around a corner of the wall. But it was all in vain when the girl sensed me and looked in my direction, waving happily. You are here, aren't you? No matter how much I wanted to groan in frustration, when I heard her cheerful voice, I couldn't deny the small feeling of comfort that filled my chest. Why are you still here? How can I go home if I'm a fugitive? If you're running away, why don't you stay with your friends? No way. Choosing my friend's place is too easy to be discovered. I don't want to bother my friend's parents either. But you have no problem bothering me, right? I responded, feigning a look of surprise despite the girl's cheerful smile. She tried to purse her lips to make herself look more attractive. But my opinion of her didn't change. Why do I have to be careful with you? We are very close. The girl remained in her position, her arm wrapped tightly around mine as she leaned on my shoulder. I was full of frustration that I wanted to scream. However, I just stood there, allowing her to do what she wanted. It had become so exhausting at this point.